start and start. Yeah, we're on. So the second class today, what we talk about the first class. In the first class, we discussed about how a salesman works, right? How a salesman will use Salesforce that we covered in our last session. So there can be generally two types of users of Salesforce. One will categorize as standard users, and one will, I will say, admins, right? Standard users can be like all the people, like sales people, service people, marketing people, pretty much all the employees of the seller side, right? Who is buying Salesforce? Seller or buyer?
Seller.
Seller, right? Good. Participate in the discussions. Otherwise, you'll not understand what is going on. So from the seller side, on behalf of seller side, there are admins who are the another set of users who are basically changing Salesforce. Right? These are all people who are using Salesforce. That means they are creating data. They are creating data, updating data, then deleting data, yeah, and reading data. Right? We'll discuss this. And there are admins who are changing Salesforce. When we say changing Salesforce, what are they changing them? Standard users are basically doing, we say, CRED operation, C-R-E-D. That means creating, reading, editing, deleting of data. Yeah. The system admins are not basically working on data because they are not using Salesforce. They are changing Salesforce. That means they're changing the behavior of the application, behavior of the Salesforce. So these people are working on metadata. What is a metadata? Metadata is description of data. We'll get into details. So why metadata is important? Let's talk about a table. What is a table called in Salesforce?
Object.
Object.
Great, fantastic, good. So let's talk any of the standard tables we discussed in the last class. Give me a name of any standard table. Or standard objects.
Leads. Leads are standard tables.
Leads, right?
Okay. Accounts.
Account is the core of Salesforce, as we say. Why account? Because account is storing your what is account is storing?
Entire details of the company which is buying.
Buying company.
Yes.
That means my customer. The
Yes.
seller is storing his his buyers. That means the customers and customer company details. And where are we storing the employees or the people with whom I'm discussing in the customer side?
In the account, the employees of
Do we have an employee table?
Yes, sir.
Contact, sir.
Contact.
Contact.
That's correct. Okay. So who is a parent and who is the child?
Account is the parent.
Account is the parent and contact is the child. Why we say account is the parent and contact is the child?
Because the employees are of that, the contacts are of that account.
That is not the right answer. Contact is of that account. What is that? Account is also of that contact. Why do we say account is a parent of contact object? Account object is a parent object to contact object. Why are we saying contact is a child object, account is a parent object? What is the name?
One-to-many relationship.
One-to-many relationship. Absolutely right. If there is a one-to-many relationship between two objects, then the side which is one is called parent, side which is many is called child. Clear?
Yes, sir.
What do we call a child which has two parents? What kind of object is that? Where is it used, by the way?
When there's many-to-many relationships.
When there is many-to-many relationship, there is two parents. That's correct. So what is this object called? What type of object is this?
Mapping table.
Mapping objects, absolutely right. Give me an example of some mapping objects, standard mapping objects we discussed in last time.
Opportunity product table and the price book entry.
Perfect, great, fantastic, very proud. Good stuff. So let's talk about account. So in account, what will we have? Tell me what can I store about a company, like buying company in this table. Give me the name of the possible columns you should have. If you are storing this in Excel sheet, what columns would you create?
Names.
Name. That means name of the company, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, name. Anything else? Maybe the company URL, website, right?
Yes.
Maybe the company official phone number, maybe the official email ID, address, very important, right? So there can be several columns, but what is you think is mandatory, the bare minimum information which you need to create an account row or account record?
Number of employees and maybe their
Bare
contact
minimum information. What is the bare minimum information you need to create a record in this object? That means create a row in this table.
Name.
Name, absolutely. Without the name, I don't know whom I'm selling, right? So this is a mandatory. All name fields in every object is a mandatory field. Okay, you cannot create a record without the name field. There can be more mandatory fields based on different objects. You can create mandatory fields if you want also. Like in your organization, you want the name and the address must be there. In that case, you can make this field mandatory. We'll discuss this how to do that later. But these, what is this? This is column headers, right? These column headers, or what do we call in Salesforce the column headers?
field, sir.
Fields. That's correct. So in this column, there can be standard fields. That means there are fields which Salesforce has given to you. You cannot delete that. Any standard object you cannot delete. Any standard fields you cannot delete. That is automatically there. It is, those fields are created for you. In this table, if you want to create a new field of your own, like GST number, it's not there. You have to create. If that is the case, in that case, a system admin's job is to create this new field so that the salesman can fill that up. Are you clear? What would be the difference?
Yes, sir.
When is this field is, what is the job of this field? If we do not have this row altogether in this table, what is the problem?
There will be difficulty understanding.
Absolutely. So description of data is absolutely critical to understand what the data is all about, right? Just at looking at the data, you might not be able to figure it out, whether it is a phone number or what is it, a GST number or something else, right? Not very clear. Not all field value, and it is very difficult to even understand that. So description of data makes it understandable. The data makes it understandable. So your job as a system administrator is to work on metadata. Description of data is called metadata. Clear? You
Yes,
guys would be changing the metadata of the organization. Maybe creating new fields, renaming fields, deleting fields if you have created those. So your operations would be related to metadata, to create new columns, delete new columns, and lot of other functionalities which you can do. You can change the behavior of the application, but you will not be basically responsible for creating business data. You can create, you can bulk update data, which would be your job at some point. We'll discuss when there will be a need for loading a lot of data. Okay, so now we understand that there is a table and there is a metadata and what is the job of a system administrator. So let's see now a difference between a standard object and a custom object. So standard objects are the fields which is already there, automatically there, right? You cannot delete them. Yeah. Custom objects are what you create. Those are not there. You will create those objects. Okay. You can delete them, of course, because it is created by you, so you can delete them. Now, standard objects can have standard fields. So by default, Salesforce has given a lot of fields to you. We'll discuss this. We'll see those fields. Custom objects, Salesforce also automatically creates some standard field when you create an object, and we'll see that. So standard fields are also there for custom object. Don't think that standard fields are for standard objects, custom fields are for custom objects. No, standard fields are there for both standard fields and custom objects, standard objects and custom objects. Similarly, you can create your own field, that is custom fields, on standard objects as well as on custom objects. Of course, you will create custom fields on your own table, right? That is the main purpose you have creating it. So clear? Standard fields are also automatically created when a custom object is created. That's why standard fields are also there in custom field. But eventually you will create your custom fields. But standard objects also allow you to create custom fields. Total number of fields in an object can be 800 total, max. Okay, certification question. Okay, so now let us see what are the diverse forms of fields we have. Any of you guys have already created fields in Salesforce?
Yes, sir.
You have created fields?
Yes, sir.
Good. So tell me, what are the different kinds of fields you have faced or come across?
There is some formula fields.
Sorry,
roll-up
sorry.
Summary.
Please come again.
Formula
Formula field.
fields.
Okay.
Yes, roll-up summary.
Okay.
Master details relationship and lookup field.
Lookup field. Okay. Master detail relationship. Good. Anything else?
And the normal field like with text, field, text number,
Text number. Absolutely great. What else?
currency.
Anything else? Currency field. Good. Anything else? Anybody?
Emails.
Okay. So we talked. You are able to see my screen, right? So last day we already discussed. We are talking about Salesforce app, sales app, basically. So this is where the salesman will be working on. And let's see how we can change this. Like if you go to account, basically this is all is a table, right? It's just a simple table. If you go to all accounts, you see the account name is there. These are columns are there. If you want to add new other columns, you can go and there. These are all the columns which is there, and you can keep adding it on the right side. So this available fields is visible fields. We are not basically adding. See, if I am using this active and I bring it upward and save it, immediately we'll see a new column has come in. So this is quite similar to a table, right? It's a simple table. So account, there are many columns, and these are all standard columns which Salesforce has given us. Standard fields are there, but you can create your own field. So let's see how a system administrator will be using it application. So they will work on the setup, right? Here, that is setup. Just like a phone, in phone, we'll go and do the change in the settings. So in Salesforce, the settings is called setup. Okay. So here we have two fields, two tabs, home and object manager. So most of the time we will be now working with the objects. So we'll go to object manager. So let's talk about the first object, which is called account, which we are discussing, wherein and see what are the available fields. So the first is this field. And then here the first tab will go through one by one on discussing everything. So let's see fields and relationships. See, there are so many fields out there. Important part is that if there is a field label and there is a field name, and what is the difference between these two? The field label is, this is what will show up in the screen. So when you are creating a new, you'll see account name here, right? But if you actually go behind the scene, the field is called name. What will display in the screen is the field label. What is the actual name of that field is this one. The difference between the field label and field name is that the field label can have spaces. A field name will never have a space. Okay. If on a standard object or any object, if you are seeing a field name normal, then that is a standard field. If you are seeing _ C at the last, it is a custom field. Okay. That means active is not a standard field of Salesforce. It is a custom field which has been created by the organization. Okay. Similarly, custom priority is a custom field. Number of location, custom field. These are all custom fields. Upsell opportunity, custom fields. So these are custom fields which has been created either by me or by any application which has got installed later by Salesforce. Okay. So there can be different teams who can work on Salesforce and they can change it. If you install an application, that can also create some fields on Salesforce, but those will be custom fields, not standard fields. Okay. We can see where this is coming from. If you go to the home tab, we will see there will be applications. So don't worry about it. So how can I create a new field? First, I will search with GST. Is there a GST field? See, there is nothing called GST. So let us create a new field. See, these are the options which come into place. Let's discuss some things today and we'll discuss a few things later if time permits. So let's see. First is auto number. What is an auto number? Anybody wants to give it a try? Let's see what is saying here. Try and play out in your home. It is very important that you are creating new fields in your standard objects. Play around. Just start creating fields. Okay. A system generated sequence number that uses to display a format you define. Okay. That means it is automatically creating a sequence. What is the sequence? Let's see. I say ACC hyphen, and it will be a numbering. Numbering means it will be 4 digits or 5 digits. Okay. This is a format. See, this is the display format. Sorry, I put it in the wrong box. This is called account sequence. This is the name of the field I will give, or sequence. Let's give a good name. If you just type it here, this is auto generated. So if you just type it back, and you can see the starting number of 1. What does it mean? Starting number of 1 means it will start with ACC hyphen 10001, and then it will become 2, 0002, 003, 04. Okay. So this is the field. Any records which is existing today will not have any value. It will be blank. But from today or after creating this field, if you start creating any value, Salesforce will automatically create the values of ACC hyphen 0001, 2, 3, 4 in sequence. This is the auto number field. Any questions? What is the description? Description is just to make you understand what I've created. This is an auto number. And help text is in the screen. If you want to give some information about that field, this is a custom field. Let's see what is external ID and what is record type. We'll discuss later as time progresses, but let's concentrate on this things. We can do next. And what is this? It is saying that is a field level security. We'll discuss security in detail chapter. For now, make it visible for everybody. Okay, this is what? This is profiles. Okay, it is asking which profile should have this access. What are profiles? Profiles is kinds of users. We'll discuss later. What is that? And what is layout? This is the second thing, which this field should be added in layout or not. That means, do you want this field to be showing up in the screen or not? And there can be different screens for account, and why it is needed. We'll discuss this again. So I'm adding it to all the possible screens of account. Okay, that's it. The record is created. Now let's create another field. We'll skip this and we'll come to that later. This is a checkbox. Anybody unaware of a checkbox? Anybody is there right now in the class who does not know what a checkbox is?
I do not know what checkbox is.
You do not know?
So check.
Okay.
No,
Let's see
sir.
what is a checkbox. We'll add a checkbox. We'll say that approved or rejected, something like that. By default, it can be checked or unchecked. Let's make it unchecked, which is the default property. So we are, again, this is a custom field. Custom checkbox. I will put the same thing in the description also. It's a good practice to always have description help text to be populated. Any field which is showing this as a red bar is mandatory. You cannot proceed without filling the values there. Okay. Same. Whenever you create a field, it will ask which user should get it and in which screen should I add it. Save it. Now let's go and create a currency field. Anybody who does not know what a currency field is?
So currency field is for only for currencies.
Yeah.
You can put there anything else.
Yeah. That means a value which is like a amount field. Okay. That means it can be a transaction amount. It can be anything, right? Anything which is related to the value of money. That is a currency field. So if you're dealing with any kind of amount, price, anything, that should be a currency field, right? You can create your own currency field. What can I say? So like turnover, right? Turnover will also be always be in a company's turnover will always be in currency, right? And if you want a decimal place, then if you add 2 here, then you have to subtract that 2 from here. Length and decimal place together should always be 18, not more than that. Please remember it. So whatever you are adding in decimal place, same thing should be subtracted from the length place. Okay. Again, adding this to the screen. Then there is a date field and date time field. What is the difference between date and date time?
Date fields are only for date and time field for date and time both. Sir.
That's correct. So if I select this, then it will store not only the date part, it will also store the time part. And both date and time will give you the calendar option to select. Okay. So let's see this one also. So is that when the company was set up, right? Or not a company set up, maybe onboarding date. When this company became my customer, I want to note that time. I can use save and new. I will directly come into that page to create another thing. I have an email field. What is a geolocation? Anybody has an idea?
Location where they are situated.
The latitude and longitude of the place of the company.
The latitude and longitude of a place. What benefit will that give me if I store latitude and longitude?
Like
I'll know
the
where
address.
they are operating from.
Hmm?
I'll know where they are operating from.
If I send you the latitude and longitude on your WhatsApp, can you find somebody?
No.
No, sir.
Then why do you think this field is important?
Sir,
Or address maybe, sir.
Sir,
Whose
if
country
I
they are-
Address
Sir,
field
if
is
I
already
co-
there. If you go and search the account, let's go back to our account. So there are different kinds of address in account. There is a billing address, there is a shipping address. These are standard fields.
Sir, if I can't contact with them with their phone number, so I can mail them to inform anything.
With latitude and longitude.
No, sir.
Then
Normally, I can mail a company
this is
to
email
inform.
field. We discussed that.
Yes.
Yeah. It can be the official email. So I will create an email field. No problem. Good point. But what about geolocation? Why do I need a latitude longitude component?
So that I know maybe where they're located is also important for business. So
That is
maybe
address field already. You have that.
I think I don't need, sir.
You don't need,
No, sir.
but who may need? If you do not need, that's fine. But Salesforce has gone up to the level wherein they are creating a field like this.
So for time purpose,
Time is already date and date time. And there is a separate time field also, which only stores the time field. This is 2:40 p.m., 2:30. This is the format. It only stores the time. There is no date part. So date time can be broken into two different fields, date and time. Let's go to geolocation. Latitude and longitude. Where do we have we studied that in our classes? Where did we study latitude and longitude?
It is,
Anybody done that geography?
yes, sir. Sir, which country they are operating from, or maybe like.
That's fine, but that can be done through addresses also. Latitude and longitude is used where?
In maps, sir.
In maps, absolutely. That's the only question we have. So if you want to geolocate that person, that means you want to pinpoint them on Google Map. Then you need this information, isn't it? Simple. So you want to pinpoint the exact building of that office so that your drone can deliver your products. Yeah. Then what will you do? You need the geolocation, right? Because they will not understand address fields. They will understand latitude and longitude. And they will fly, the drones will fly, go to that location, deliver that on the roof. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we understand what a geolocation is. Then there is a number field. Number field does not mean only numbers. It can also store decimal places. Okay, it works quite similar to currency field, which we created. Percentage is storing percentage. So like if you say that any kind of percentage you want to store, commission, default commission percentage of this company, something of that sort. Right? Phone number field. What is a pick list? Anybody has worked with pick list before?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Picklist field, sir. You can choose any. You can choose any option between 5, 8.
That's correct. When you want, there are two types of pick list in Salesforce. One is a single select, one is a multi select. You see, normal pick list is only you can choose one of the values, and there is a multi select wherein you can choose multiple values. When there is a pick list, what it means that I want people to choose from the options I'm giving them rather than they are typing it. Yeah. So it's basically pull down, drop down. Let's see that. So maybe broadband connection. I need that information about my customer. What kind of broadband connection they are using. So you can enter values each separately, or what you can do, you can use a global pick list value. That means you store this value so that you can use it in many places. So what I do, let's have Airtel, Geo, and there are some values like I can use the first value as default value. If I don't use it, then it will show none as nothing is selected. We can display the values alphabetically. So whatever you typed it here does not matter. It will be ABC onwards. And you can also, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, another value is ticked. Sorry about it. I forgot to mention this. Restricted pick list to the values defined in the value set. What does this mean? By default, it's checked. That means you can only select between these values. The user can only pick one of these values. But if I uncheck this, what happens is that the user can type the values also, a new value. And when they type a new value, that automatically gets added to the pick list. Okay. So let's see that. Save and new. What is more? Pick list multi-select. It looks a little different. Pick list multi-select is basically you have two boxes. One box is to pick the available values, one box to choose what has been selected. So let's see. I can, what is multiple values what can be what? Like, give me an example of a customer's multi-values. Let's see. Regions of operation. east, west, north, south. A person can work in multiple regions, right? A customer can be, my buyers can be in multiple regions. So I want that information. I'm creating these fields which Salesforce has not given me. Text field, I can put anything here. This does not allow a breaking of line. Okay, you cannot put enter. Text area allows breaking of lines, but both have the same character limit, 255 characters at max. Okay, long and rich allows you a big number of character, 13107. Text area long does not allow you to format the data. Text area rich allow you to format the data. What do you mean by formatting? You can make it bold, you can color it, you can put images, you can put in links. Okay, that you can do. Text encrypted is means the value which is encrypted, like a credit card number. You don't want to see that. It's like star, 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 star. It will show up like that. URL is any website URL, which is like whatever you are seeing here on the top, like the website of the company, right? You want to store that. So these are all values. So let's discuss this. So I have a text field, right? Why do you think we need this email field, number field, phone field, time field, date field? What is the necessity of having this? So many fields. I can have just a text field and I can store anything there, right? In text field, I can store anything, any combination of letters or numbers, you see. Like I will create a GST number. So I need this because GST numbers are basically combination of letters and numbers. And what is the maximum field number? 255 characters. I don't need 255 characters. Maybe I need 10, 12 digits. So I need 12. Yeah, go ahead. Why do you need the other fields?
In text field, I can put anything, but
Yeah.
in email field, I can't put anything else rather than email ID. So maybe
Maybe there's a
the
necessity
data gone wrong.
where I need the customer to put only digits. He cannot put letters even if he wants to. So I want to restrict that. That is why I need.
So data validation. Basically, you are making sure that user is not putting garbage on your fields, right? If it's a text field, possibility is that they are mistyping it, they are putting bad values, which you do not want, right? So in order to restrict people, restrict the users, that is the correct word, and put data validation, system defined data validations, we have so many fields. There is no need to use so many. There is a need to use these fields as much as possible so that we know exactly what data type is coming to that. Try to use actual data so that validation happens automatically. Yeah, so we have created so many fields. Let's see how it is looking like now. It takes a while to reflect on these things, but usually this east, west, north, south. So this is the multi-select pick list. I can choose multiple components, right? Then what did we create? GST number. I can type letters and characters of 12 digits only. After that, it stops. Broadband connection is a pick list, so I can choose only one value, right? Onboarding date. See, I can choose this date and time, both. If it is a date, only a picker, this portion will come. And if it is time, only this portion will come. This is the checkbox. You can tick it, untick it. That means only Boolean values, true or false. If you need any kind of a value which can be yes or no, true or false, right or wrong, something of that sort, only two options are there. In that case, you can use checkbox. Turnover is currency value, right? It puts a automatic dollar when it displays to you, because dollar is the default currency right now. You can change this dollar to rupees and it will show rupees. So, but automatically it is showing that this is the amount field. That means it is a currency number value we are talking about. We are talking about money here. We are not talking about normal numbers. Okay. So these are fields which you created. And so you see, account name, you cannot save without this because this is the right star. So I am saying that this is called test account. And I save it. Save it. The same layout is also displayed in details. The same screen in the same sequence. You see? Approved. Whatever was showing up in the edit, and the edit also will show the exactly the same placing of the fields. Now you're not happy with the placing of the fields. What do you do? Because there's so much gap here, right? Wasted. I want to organize this. Well, go back and I see page layouts. Now there are so many screens. In this account, there are so many different kinds of screens, and every screen can have a different sets of fields. If it is a mandatory field, you cannot remove it from the layout. It is automatically there. But if it is not a mandatory field, you can remove it from the layout. Why do you think there is different screens needed? What is the benefit of having different screens? Anybody?
So can you repeat the question once more?
This you are seeing on screen right now. Account has 4 screens layouts. This layout is basically whatever is showing up here under details, this portion, okay, where the fields values are showing up. And it is the same layout which is used in edit as well as new. Same, this is the layout, right, which is opening up, where you can fill data. That is called a layout. So there are 4 layouts which is there in account. Why do you think there is need for 4 layouts? Or why should I create multiple layouts? And it says marketing, sales, support. What does it mean?
This is for
So the marketing
users, sir. Marketing layout is for marketing users, and sales layout.
Marketing
For
layout is
sales
for marketing
users, sir.
marketing users. Absolutely. So I can have 800 fields at max, right, in my account. But maybe the marketing user does not need to care about GST. They are only caring about the email, official email ID. The salespeople need the GST number. They don't care. They don't care about the email ID. The support people need the GST ID and email ID both. Otherwise, they cannot say that all the information of the customer is there or not to serve them. Are you understanding? So in order to make work easier for them, you can have separate layouts and assign it to different sets of users. And how do we assign them? We assign through profiles. Profiles is a type of user, is your user type. So you can assign a user and mark it as a user type. That means mark it to a profile. And you assign that layout to that profile. Exactly just like we saw the fields. But we'll discuss this in later, in security period. But there are 4 layouts. Usually, you see, you can go and check the field assignment. Your profile is always system administrator. Yes. And it is showing which profile am I using, which layout am I using, right? So I will go and change this one. This is the layout, and you can play around the layout. You see, I want this here, this here, this here, and I want to bring anything else was there. Regions of operation should be here. Yeah, this is how I want my account name should be on top. This is what I want to see. The layout should behave like this, and I save it. If I go now and refresh the screen, it takes a while to reflect. Don't worry about it. So if I now edit it, you see, it is all aligned now. The new changes are all showing up. Now it is side by side, everything, and the region of operation is up, and then billing address and stuff is up. Here, I can change the layout, and this the same thing will also happen here. You see, now everything is side by side, no gaps, everything is all well. Clear? So you can position the fields also. You can remove the fields also. I can go here and I say, I don't need this region of operation. I just take it out. It's gone. And save. You have to fill it on the top, right? And that's it. Then it is gone. You look into this region of operation. If I refresh, will take a while here. They save it. Still showing up. Okay, in a while this will go off. So you can remove fields, you can add new fields. Like I don't have a field. Like if you go to these fields on the top, many things are not there. See, account source, it's not there. I can pull and drag and drop here, right? So you can bring the fields which is not already in the layout, and you can bring it down. So you can use this layout to display the fields so that they can be shown in all the CRUD operation, right? We discuss create, read, edit, delete. So what are we doing here? The user is basically reading this, editing it, creating it, and he can also choose to delete it. That's it. So this is 4 operations usually on a table or on an object, which a common user will be doing, right? And we saw all the operations which they can do. So, and how the fields are created. You can create your own objects also. You see, these are showing as standard object, just like fields. You can also have objects which is custom, and that will also end with __c. See, right now there isn't anything which has the name API name as __c. Here also object also has a label and API name. Label is for displaying to users in the screens. API name is behind the scenes. This is actually used for your logic, operations, everything. So let's create a custom object. We'll call it application. And you can also say the plural is applications. And it starts with vowel. Why? Because in the messages which Salesforce will generate, it will say an application. Or otherwise, if it does not start with the vowel sound, it will not use the an. It will always use a to address this object data. Okay. So now it will start using an application. Record has been created, or there is a problem with that. Data type. By default, the name field can be made text or auto number. Okay. Let's make this auto number, just like we did it in our account a few times back, right? We'll again do it like this. It starts with A-0001, 0002, and so on, right? There is an other features which we'll discuss later. These does not matter, and you can save it. This is a new object. And if you go to the fields and relationships, you will see Salesforce has automatically created these fields for you. You have not created. This is a new table, but these 4 fields has been already created for you. The name field was always there. Name field, you have changed that to auto number. By default, it is always text. If you keep it text, then you have to fill it and type it. Created by, last modified by an owner. These are all system generated audit fields. That means Salesforce will keep track of the record through these fields. This is something which you do not enter any values. Okay. So in this, there is no field to enter values. Yeah. This object does not need you to create any values. But how will you create a value? In order to create a value, you need a tab like this, right? Otherwise, how will you go and create this new button? How will you get this new button? Right now, do you have applications here? Search. Nothing is there because there is no tab. So you cannot create any record from screen on this table, even if you have created this table. So in order to create values inside this table, that means records inside this table, you have to create a tab. And we go to see the tab. And this is custom object tab, right? We have created a custom object. So let's create a custom object tab. This is the application, only custom object we have right now. And we select a color option. That's it. And we will allow this as default on. We'll switch on this tab to all types of users. That's what it's saying. And we can discuss this later. We can change these values also later. So now what happens? We have created a tab. If I now go to application, just refresh the screen. Go and create application here. You see, application is now available. So now application is object. And whenever a tab is created, you get the CRUD operation, create operation to do. Create and CRUD operation are the same. Edit sometimes is called update. So you can use CRUD or CRED, create. So I can create a new record, and you see nothing needs me to be filled up because application name is auto-generated. Owner field is auto-filled by Salesforce. So I just save, and a new record is created. Application number is already generated for it, right? But what if I want to add values? Then I have to I have to go back to Object Manager, find my application, and here you see API name is __ C, custom object. Let's create our new field. This time we'll say I need a text field. And this text field is called what is that? Application details. And I need 255 characters. And let's make it required. Required means I will make it mandatory. So this field, required field, will only come on custom objects. Standard objects will not allow you to change it to required. Okay, this field is not available for standard fields. Standard custom fields only have this required field. So if I tick it as checkbox, in that case you cannot save without entering some value on this. It will have a red star on the top. Yeah, you can make it unique also. That means once you have filled up a value, you cannot repeat that value in any other record. That is also possible. Usually we do not do that for, we only do that for some kind of a unique identifier record. Otherwise not, we don't use it, right? External ID we'll talk later. So let's create a required field, and I say next, and I save it on the application. So what happens is, now you saw that both since it was a mandatory field, it did not allow me to choose which layout I can put it or not, because mandatory fields will automatically get dropped into the layouts. It will be added automatically. You cannot remove it, because otherwise you cannot create a product without layout. So now let us create a new application. This is a new application. Still not showing up. Yeah. Now the application details has come up, and you see the red star because I have made it required. So I have to put some values. Here's the application. Yeah. Now I have got those values created by, last modified by, it has been put by Salesforce. Owner is also put by Salesforce. Auto generation name field has been auto generated by Salesforce. Only I have to put the input is only related to this, right? What is the relationship between account and applications right now?
1-to-1.
Account 1-to-1.
Yes.
How do I associate that?
There's only one account.
Who said there is only one account? There is 14 accounts right now in the system. Did we associate anything? Did we tell Salesforce that account and applications are related to each other? Let's see how contact and account are associated first. Let's go to applications. So account. Do I have any contact details here? Nothing, right? Let's go to now account. Contact. So the contact. Let's check if I have anything related to account here. Got it? So when you are creating a contact, let's create a contact, Mr. Xman. This is the account name, and I can search for which contact I am talking about. Test account. Save it. This way, if I go to the account, it is now showing up. See, I can click on this account. I can click and it will take me directly to the account. Here in the account, I can see it is associated to Xmap. If I create a new contact here, you see account is automatically filled up for me. I will create a Y map. Now 2. That way, account is 1, but I have many contacts. So one-to-many relationship is created.
Okay.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So what field is basically creating this relationship?
Contact field.
This field, account ID, account name. In UI, we are calling it account name.
Okay, sir.
If you go to account, go to details tab, you will see account name. And it is clickable. You can click this. But in behind the scene, we are seeing this is called a lookup data, right? And it is called account ID. That means there is a data type which is, or there is a field type which is called lookup. That is creating the relationship between account and contact. So if you create a lookup field, in that case, let's see what happens in application. So this is the application record and fielder relationship. It does not have any relationship with anybody. I have to create a relationship through either of these fields, either a lookup field or master detail field or an external lookup field. What is the difference between these two fields? We'll not discuss external lookup. It's quite complicated and advanced topic. We'll restrict our discussion with lookup and master detail. Okay, but both stores the same value. What does it store? We'll also discuss in our next class. But let's see how it behaves. So I have now created a lookup relationship. It is asking, which are you relating this to? I am relating this to account. And that is it. And let's make it required also. Yeah. The lookup field has many things. If you make it required, then your parent record you cannot delete, because it will say that there is a child already associated to that. If you do not make it required, then if you delete the account record, this will either go blank if you choose this one, or you can also block it. Depends on your setting here. That means now you're creating a relationship between a account record with a application record. Clear? So by default, if you choose required, you cannot delete the parent record. Let's see that. So now, what is the relationship between account and application? Till now, before creating the field, account and application had no relationship. We just created a relationship now. Okay, what is a relationship? Think about it.
The connection between the
What kind of
both
relationship? One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, what?
one-to-many, sir.
One-to-many relationship. Why one-to-many?
So one account can have many contacts, sir.
I am talking about application object.
So one account can have many applications too.
Many applications, correct. So what can I do? I can even go to this existing records, and I now, this will not allow me to save now. Okay, if I open and edit, if I click save, it will say I need an account value. So I will use test account. I will fill up again this one also test account. So 2 records, and I will create a third record now. It's 2 application, and I will also put this to test account. So all the 3 records, I can create a good list view here. If you go to all, you can add the fields, different fields here. Go to list view, select fields to display. You can add the account here. You can add the application details here. And there is an interesting thing called record ID. We'll discuss this later. So now you can see the side by side in a tabular format, all the fields we have displayed. Account, application, it is clickable. All the name fields of every object is clickable. Okay. So in application, the name, it is a name field. That means you can click this and you can directly go to the detail of that object. If it is you're on the account, if you go to the name field, it will open up the record. Yeah. So name field is clickable, and you can straight away go to that individual record for any object on Salesforce. Okay. So now what happens? So if I go to account, go to this test account, you see down below, I have 3 applications. That means one test account is now connected to 3 applications. And this is called a related list, where parent can show which childs I have. So now account and contact, account was the parent of contact, one-to-many relationship. So you can see which contacts are associated to this parent. Similarly, application is now the child of account. So you can also see which childs are, or which applications are belonging to connecting to this account. So one-to-many relationship. So account is now the parent, application object has become the child. So custom object can be made a child, standard object can also be made a child using lookup. Clear? Any questions? This relationship field will only be created at the child side. Both these fields, the lookup field and the master data field, will be created at the child end. That means the many side, not on the one side. Okay. The relationship will always be on the child side. A child, think about it like this. If you have an identity card, a child will always have his father's name. How many cards have you seen where father is carrying the names of his all children? No, there's no identity card, right? Wherein you will have your child's name, right, imprinted. No. But in any identity card, you will always have your father's name, because that is your identity. You can show your relationship. So relationship fields called lookup and master detail, both are relationship fields. I will discuss now what is the difference between these two. Both are relationship fields, and both will be created on the child side. Any questions so far? Let's see what is the relationship between lookup and master detail. Let's create a master detail now. So this is the application object. It's a one-to-many relationship between Apple account and contact. Let's create another relationship. And this time it's a master detail relationship. And this time I will create the relationship with contact. There is an option called allow reparenting. If you do not check this, you cannot modify this field value. Okay, please remember that. Once you have put the value, it will forever remain read only. You cannot change the value. So let's allow reparenting. You see, the visibility cannot be unchecked. Why? I will show that. The layout cannot be unchecked. I will show you that. What is showing? Cannot create master detail relationship on account object. And let's read the message very carefully. I will come to this message. Let's have it there. But let's first see what is the conceptual difference between account and master detail, and I will try to decipher if we can solve this error. Yeah, let's see. I'll go back to this error. The error would be there, and we'll try to figure it out. Yeah. So what is a lookup? What is a master detail? Both will be at child side. No difference. Okay. Both are actually storing Salesforce ID, and I will discuss this. Actually storing Salesforce ID. What you are seeing in screen is not actually storing it. It is storing Salesforce ID. Why it is storing Salesforce ID? We'll discuss this. Third is lookup. If the parent is deleted, parent record is deleted, the child record is not automatically deleted. Child records will remain same, will be there. It will only blank out, right? Or you can block the child deletion if the parent did, and we'll discuss this also. So automatic child record deletion is not there, but if there are child records, you can make it required. If you make it required, in that case, you can block the parent record deletion. That's it. But if the parent is deleted and child you have set in such a way that the child record will remain, the child record will remain. It will not automatically delete. But in master detail, when the parent is deleted, the child records are automatically deleted. Okay. Lookup by default is not mandatory. You can make it mandatory, but by default, lookup is not mandatory. Master detail is always mandatory. You cannot make it non-mandatory. Right? You have to enter a value. Okay. If you create a master detail relationship in child side, then in parent side, you will be able to create a field called roll-up summary. We'll discuss this in a different class. What is a roll-up summary? But master detail field only, or master detail relationship only allows a roll-up summary kind of a field. Nothing else. Okay. So let's agree to these differences and go back to our message once again. And let me know, why do you think this error, what is this error telling me, and why it is coming? Read it carefully and give me the answer. Let's first go one by one. You cannot create a new master data relationship on an existing custom object if records already exist. I missed another point. You cannot create master data relationship fields on standard objects. You can only create master data fields on custom objects. difference. Okay. The last, which I missed out, another difference. So it is saying that I will not allow you to create master detail relationship on the child object because you already have existing records. So what is the problem? Why it is blocking me to create the record?
Because application is already a child object of account. That's why
I am
it's
trying to
blocking.
create a contact relationship here. This was not account.
Contact account also a child object of account. Sir.
That's fine. No, contact is a child of account. How does it matter? The message does not say that is the problem. The message is saying that you cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing custom object if record already exists.
There's already pre-existing record.
So what is the problem? If we had it allowed me, what would have been the problem? Look to the other side of the story. The next line basically gives you the reason. You must first create a lookup relationship, populate the lookup fields with data in all records, and then change the relationship type to master detail. The answer is given in the next slide.
So basically, to create a master detail relationship, there needs to be a lookup relationship first.
No, this is not mandatory. For this situation, they are asking it to do. This is the approach they are saying to follow. Because you have existing records. Why is it asking us to follow this approach? Let's first do the second part. Yeah. Let's create this is the lookup relationship with account. This is the lookup relationship with account. You can create 40 relationship records in an object, 40. Out of that, at a max, 2 can be master detail. Okay. Now I have created 2 master detail two lookup relationships, one with account, one with contact. What kind of object has 2 relationships now? So what is the relationship between account and contact? Account and application.
Lookup relationship.
One-to-many relationship.
One-to-many relationship. With contact, what happened? Contact and application, what is the relationship?
One-to-many relationship.
One-to-many relationship.
Yes.
So from account also I have a one-to-many relationship. From contact also I have one-to-many relationship. What kind of object did I create now? How do we create many-to-many relationships?
Mapping table.
What is the definition of mapping table?
It is a child of 2 parent tables.
Isn't it the same now? Application.
Yes, sir.
So whenever I have created multiple lookups, it becomes a mapping table. It is basically a mapping table. Now, but it is serving a different purpose. That's why the name is not given as account contact. Because account and contact relationships have different tables. We'll discuss that later. So you can think this as a mapping table, though it is not solving the purpose of account and contact, because account and contact are already associated as parent and child, one-to-many relationship. There is no need for another table to map them up, but you can. This is a mapping table. Eventually I have created because there's two lookup. Can I now change this to a master detail? Because it's not allowing me to create any master detail. So let's say I go to edit. I have a change field type. Can I make it master detail? Same error. Which part did I miss? I first create a lookup relationship, populate the lookup field with data in all records, and then change. I have not done this part, isn't it?
So we need to put in data.
Yes. And why do we need to put in data? That is a question you should be asking yourself. Why Salesforce is forcing you to put in data?
Uh,
It's blank in this all three fields. Why is Salesforce asking you to put data? Let's put data. Done. Let's go back and try it once again. Now I will try to change this to master detail. Done. Let's send master detail record now. Since I have populated with the values on our fields. The bare minimum requirement of master detail relationship is it is a mandatory field. That is the reason why it was not allowing me to create it, because if it made it mandatory, what will happen on these values? There is no value here, but by definition that field must be mandatory. You have to have values in that.
yes.
Since you had existing records, that records had blank because you don't have any value on those records. That is the reason why you were facing trouble in creating it. But if these rows were not there, if this table was blank, you could create master data relationship any day, no problem. Clear? So
Yes.
if a table is already populated, then you are trying to create a master data relationship, a lot of work to do. Fill up the values, first create a lookup, fill up the values, then migrate, make it a master data. Or you can delete all records and then start the master data relationship. Clear? Because what happens now, from now, you see account. Here you see account is red, contact is also red star. Why? Because master data relationship is by default always mandatory. Okay. This is how this table is looking like. This table is now a child of two parents, right? Account and contact. Account and contact are standard. This object is custom. Very good. Play with it.
Yes,
Make
sir.
your fields, make relationships, create records. And in the next class, we'll see how to load data into tables in bulk. That means a lot of records at one shot. Here, in these buttons, you can create only one record at a time, right? What if you want to create 200 records at one shot? That's for next class.
So just I forgot if what you said. So, in order to create the master detail, we need lookup first and then convert it to master detail, or
No,
we can
no.
directly.
No.
Oh.
If it is it has records, then only you have to do that. If I delete this, if there were no records in this table, then you can it will allow you to create master table record, because there is no violation then.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Since it is mandatory, you have to create it, right? If I delete this now, this field is gone, right? Now I'm trying to create the master detail straight away from contact.
Okay, good. Okay, sir.
It will allow me, no problem, because there are no records and
Yes,
there is
sir.
no violation.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
It is allowing me to create master detail straight away.
Yes, yes.
Only if there is existing records, then you have to make lookup first and then convert it to master detail.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Yes,
Because
sir. Got it.
lookups allow blanks.
Hmm.
Master detail don't allow blanks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And cascade delete. Let's see that in action. Can we? Let's see the cascade delete. I will create a application record. It's called new test app, test account, xmap. Now let's see in action. So I will go to this contact and I will delete this contact. Gone. What happens? There is no application record. That application record is also deleted. Yeah, because application was a master detail child. Master detail relationship automatically deletes the child records if the parent record is deleted. Here.
Yes, sir.
So, though account and contact are not master detail relationship, still, if you see a Y man here, right, all contacts, there is a Y man here, right, somewhere. Yeah, this is a Y man, number 21. I can delete the test account. And let's go to contact and search for Y man. You see, the Y man is gone. So account and contact, though, have a lookup relationship, but they have a special relationship, account and contact. When account record is deleted, contact records are also automatically deleted. Okay, it behaves like master detail. Cascade delete is there. Okay, but ideally, if there are two lookups between any objects, the master record will not lock. Not master detail deletion will not delete the child records. But in account and contact, though it is not master detail, it behaves like master detail. Standard relationship, but this is an exception. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That is all I had today. Next class will be on data, and next class will also give assignments. So please start learning. On the third class, we will start giving assignments to people, which you have to complete. That would be your home task along with your trailheads, and I will see we can move forward with your classes based on how much time you're giving. So in the next class, we'll start giving you assignments which you have to complete. Okay, thanks. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Your Animesh Proshun is a new student. He has joined today.